What's up, guys? It's George, and I'm taking my trusty companion Rose here for a walk through the Floridian jungle. It's Sunday morning, beautiful day out. I woke up this morning, no hangover, went for a 20-mile bike ride, did some yoga, some meditation, practiced my Wim Hof breathing exercises, did some chores, and yeah, just feeling great. And realized that it's been 4 months without any alcohol. And I didn't even really plan to do this. I mean, it kind of happened by accident. I wasn't even really thinking about it. And it was so effortless that I thought I would share about this experience. Because I know a lot of people, even the thought of going like a month without alcohol is like, oh my gosh, it's like a struggle. And, I've done 30-day challenges in the past, where I've gone 30 days without any alcohol. And in fact, I've even done videos about them. And this time, going 4 months has been easier than doing those 30-day challenges. Because the interesting thing about humans is that we want what is hard to get or what gets taken away from us. Kind of like a baby, if a baby's playing with a ball and you take that ball away from it, what happens? It wants the ball even more. It's like, wah, give me the ball back. That's just how we are. We like what we can't have. And so what I did was I read this book called The Easy Way to Quit Drinking by Carr. Excellent book. I'll put a link to it in the description. And I read it by accident. I wasn't even planning to quit drinking. I wasn't, or anything like that at all. I'm just, I'm always reading self-improvement books, and I'm just a bookworm. I love reading. And so this book got recommended on Amazon, and I thought, that's interesting. Okay, well, I'm not planning on quitting drinking. I'm not an alcoholic or anything like that. But yeah, maybe I'll learn something. Maybe I can learn some, addiction techniques or whatever that, can better my life or I can use to help other people. And so I read that book, and it's interesting because in the beginning, it actually recommends you to pour a glass of your favorite alcoholic beverage and to drink it. And at the end of the book, the very last paragraph of the book actually encourages you to pour a glass of your favorite alcoholic beverage and to drink the whole thing. And this is one of the most famous books in the world that's helped people to quit drinking. What? Why would a book that helps you to quit drinking recommend you to drink? That doesn't even make any sense. Well, what makes the techniques in this book so different, the strategies, it's a totally different approach from like, a 12-step program or AA or something like that, where you count the days. Because again, when you're saying, I'm never going to have it again, what happens? A lot of times that makes you want it even more. I mean, right now, I'm not telling myself I'm never going to have a drink again. I mean, I may, but I've changed the way that I look at alcohol. If I say, you know what, I'm never having a drink again, that almost kind of makes me want a beer, even more right now. But what this book does is it gets you to see the alcohol for the demon that it is. A lot of us, what happens is when we're young, we're kind of like, we're born like sober drunks. When you're a baby or kid, you don't care what anybody thinks about you. My daughter, she's 6.5, and she'll walk up to anybody, anywhere. It doesn't matter if it's a police officer, some big guy or a lady or whatever, and she'll just talk to anybody and just start making friends with them. And we're like that as children. But what happens is as we get older, we start to, get more anxiety and we get rejection from the world and different things, and we become more reserved. And all of a sudden, you have a drink of alcohol one day, and all of a sudden it's like you become this person. That's not shy anymore, that's not reserved, that just has the ability to flirt with people and talk and spit jokes out. But what if you could be that person that could have fun, that could have a great time, that could socialize, that could enjoy life, that could laugh and spit jokes, could dance, go to a party, and not need any alcohol or any substance like that at all? Well, the truth is you can't. It takes a little bit more practice, but just like we were able to do it as kids with no problem, we can recondition ourselves to get back to that state. Because what happens as we get older and we get used to using alcohol as a crutch, then it becomes just that, it becomes a crutch. And we forget how to socialize and have fun and laugh and flirt, network without, needing alcohol or needing a substance. So when I go out, this year I've gone on dates, I've gone to parties, I've gone to weddings, all kinds of social events without drinking, and still had a great time. it takes a little bit more work, a little bit more effort to get into that flow state than somebody that is drinking. Because, for example, you know, when you have that first shot or beer or something like that, you know, there's that smooth period where it's like the first 15 to 30 minutes to an hour, you know, your first 1 or 2 drinks where, you know, you just feel incredible. And you get into flow state really quickly. And what happens is as the day or the evening progresses and you're continuing to drink, you know, you start getting maybe more tired, you start getting sloppier. And where myself, when I go out sober and I push myself to get into state naturally, even if I'm tired, I'll force myself to do some push-ups in the parking lot, or do some some snaps or some anchors that I've taught myself to get me happy. I'll fake laugh. I'll do things to push myself out of my comfort zone by talking to strangers and things like that, because I know that'll warm me up and get me into state quicker. But what will happen is that I end up it takes me a little bit longer to get into state. But once I get into that flow state, I stay in there longer. Where the other people who are drinking, they start to go in the decline as the day or the evening progresses. I'm continuing to progress, and I maintain it. And at the end of the day or the end of the evening, I feel great. I remember what happened. I didn't do anything that I regretted. I still have all my money in my pocket. And, you know, again, I don't have to wake up the next morning having to worry about any regrets. See, I've known a lot of people who have who've messed their life up with alcohol, but I've never known anyone who's improved their life with alcohol. I mean, some of the dumbest things that I've ever done in my life were when I was drunk. I mean, I remember one time on a cruise with my family, I got so drunk that I ended up gambling and losing over $2,000. Yeah, that hurt. So not only did I have to wake up with a hangover the next day, but I also had to wake up with the pain and the agony of knowing that I had blown over $2,000 of my hard-earned money while I was because I was drunk. Then I remember one time when I was in high school, I got so drunk that I ended up punching out my own windshield of my car. And I remember I woke up the next morning and I went out to my car and I was like, oh my gosh, you know, who punched out, you know, what happened to my windshield? How did my windshield break? And my friend was like, dude, you did, man. You were so drunk last night, I had to drive your car, and while you were in the passenger seat, you punched your own windshield. I was like, oh, and I didn't even remember doing it. I was like, oh my gosh. So we can do some really stupid things while drunk. I mean, like I said, I've never known anyone who's improved their life with alcohol, but I've known a lot of people who have messed their life up with it. You know, DUIs, saying or doing things while drunk that they regretted, that they couldn't take back, ruined relationships, marriage, family, their career. Again, I've never known anyone who's improved their life with alcohol, but I've known a lot of people who've messed their life up because of alcohol. And what if you could be that person who could relax without needing a glass of wine? You know, after a long, hard day of work or putting the kids down to sleep, you didn't need a glass of wine or a beer to be able to relax. Well, you can. You know, just simply, you know, just by taking like 30 deep breaths, it lowers your blood pressure. You get like this natural kind of a high. You know, listen to some yoga type music, some meditation, do some meditation, take your dog for a walk, or just take yourself for a walk, maybe, you know, play some music or something like that. You absolutely can teach yourself how to relax and how to have fun without alcohol. And it's a lot rewarding. You know, what if you could have fun without alcohol? You totally can. You know, imagine on a Saturday night, instead of needing to go out to a bar or a club and getting wasted, what if you could go out to a dancing club and just dance? You know, I've done that plenty of times. Where I live, there's a dancing club that's close to my house, and so sometimes on a Saturday night, I will walk down there by myself, totally sober, and just dance and just have fun, meet people, go home, no regrets, didn't blow any money, and I feel great the next morning. Fun. Without needing any alcohol. And so again, you know, as you change the way that you look at the world, the things that you look at change. So let's take a look at alcohol. Alcohol, the word alcohol actually comes from the Arabic term al-kul, which means body-eating spirit. Let that one sink in. You know, there's a reason why they call spirits spirits, or booze booze. Because when you get drunk, you know, a lot of times you black out, you don't remember anything, and it's kind of like your spirit is leaving your body, and you're somebody that, you know, it's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You know, you're somebody that you didn't used to be before. And a lot of, you know, times we don't like that person. You know, when we get to that place when we've blacked out, we don't like who that person is. You know, some people become violent, some people do stupid things like, you know, gamble, or they, you know, do things that they shouldn't have done and just regret it. I remember one time I read a study that after you have just one drink, your metabolism slows down for up to 72 hours. So that one drink you wanted to relax, it can slow down your metabolism for up to 3 days. And so just a great benefit to not drinking is that, you can lose weight. The average drink has about 100 to 500 calories. And so if you're having a couple of those a week, that's thousands of calories a month. So just by eliminating alcohol out of your life, you'll start to lose weight. That's thousands of calories that you're not consuming, empty calories. I remember also one time I saw a study about how they showed a brain underneath an MRI, a normal brain, and then that same person, the same brain, after they had just one alcoholic drink, their brain structure kind of changed in the MRI, and it took actually 72 hours. This as well, 72 hours till the brain got back to normal. How crazy is that? So this simple, harmless glass of wine or beer that we think of is not quite so harmless. It's actually a poison. I remember one time in school, the teacher, as an example, took out a shot glass and had some tequila in it and put a worm in it, and the worm died instantly. So alcohol is a poison. If you need a poison to relax, to have fun, then that's an area you probably need to work on in your life. I mean, think about it. Why don't you eat a Tide Pod and go to the club or the bar or something like that, right? And I know it sounds silly, but alcohol is a poison as well. People say, oh, there's some benefits in drinking alcohol. Drinking wine, it's got the flavonoids and polyphenols. Okay, why don't you just eat the grapes? That way you're not getting the poison, but you're getting all the benefits. So, using that it's a glass of wine is good for you is kind of not the best excuse. Now, I'm not, trying to make anyone feel bad, that drinks or anything like that. I know a lot of people that are successful and a lot of people that are able to, to moderate their drinking, and it's not a problem for them, and that's fine. Like I said, I'm not here to make anyone feel bad or to say that, you should never have a drink of alcohol again, because again, that kind of, makes you want it even more. But to start to change the way, that you look at it, instead of seeing it as a reward, instead of looking at alcohol as, or not have any alcohol as like a sacrifice, like, oh gosh, I'm gonna go 30 days, or I'm just gonna do a month challenge without any alcohol, and you see it as a sacrifice, see it as a privilege, to become the best version of yourself. See it as a privilege of see it as a privilege of being able to wake up, on a Sunday morning, energetic. See it as a privilege being able to wake up on the weekends just feeling incredible. See it as a privilege of being able to give your best to the world, to your family, to your relationships, to your career, without needing a substance, and a substance that's going to hold you back. So instead of seeing it as a sacrifice, see it as a privilege. When you change it just like that, it changes and it becomes easier. It doesn't seem like something you're not having. Instead, it seems like something you're gaining. See it as a privilege, and a challenge to be that type of person who could go to a party or a bar or a wedding or on a date and still have fun and still laugh and still joke and without needing any alcohol or to spend your money on it. See it as a privilege and a challenge to be able to figure out and to learn how to become that kid again, like that sober drunk kid who can just go up and talk to anybody and have a good time and laugh and network. See it as a challenge to become that type of person again. And think of all the benefits, of not having any alcohol. I mean, number one, like I said, you're going to lose weight, you're going to have more energy, your emotions are going to be more stable because you don't have to worry about, waking up with a hangover, getting poor quality sleep. Think about all the money that you'll save. I mean, if you spend, about $50 a week on alcohol, which I don't think is, that extreme. If you have a couple of drinks on Friday night, spend $20, and a couple of drinks on Saturday night, spend another $20, and maybe a bottle of wine throughout the week, $50, which I feel like is pretty moderate. That's $2,400 a year. Think about that. I mean, what could you buy with $2,400 a year? You could go on an incredible vacation once a year, somewhere just, an amazing destination. You could probably afford to even take someone with you with that money, just by not consuming any alcohol. So there are so many benefits, to not having any alcohol, and an easy way to do it, there are a couple of techniques and not how to do it is, number one, be careful of who you're hanging out with, because, if the people that you hang out with like to every day after work go to happy hour and drink and get drunk on the weekend and things like that, you may want to start changing your social circle. And it's not like you can never hang out with those people again or not become friends with them, but you might want to reduce the amount of time that you spend with these people and instead try engaging yourself in activities and situations with people that, are not going to drink. For example, maybe joining like a Toastmasters or join a dance class, learning how to dance, or, start going to yoga class after work instead of happy hour. And putting yourself in situations where you can meet people and it doesn't involve alcohol, you're going to be more likely to find friends, that probably don't drink or that you can enjoy each other's company, without getting drunk. Now, if you are at a social situation like a wedding or, a party or something like that, and you're probably going to get pressured to drink, easy thing is just get like a glass, on the rocks with ice, some water in it, some lime or lemon on it. Nobody will even question you. They'll think you're drinking. Or just don't make a big deal out of it. If someone says, oh, hey, do you want to drink? You know what? Not right now, maybe a little bit later. And all of a sudden people will forget, they'll be drunk. They won't even think about it. They'll think you're drinking and stuff like that too. Or just don't make a big deal out of it. You don't have to be like, oh yeah, alcohol is bad and, I quit alcohol, I'm never having again, and making other people feel bad, because that's when it gets awkward. Just don't even make a big deal out of it. Just, not today, or not right now, maybe a little bit later. And if you don't make it a big deal like that, people won't even think about it. They'll be drunk, they'll be having their own good time, and they won't even bother about it. So it's really simple. Like I said, this has been effortless. I haven't even thought about it. I'm just, I like, I take such pride in my health, and I love feeling good all the time. I like waking up every day of the week, energetic, naturally, and I don't want anything to mess that up. So, I'm just enjoying it right now. I haven't said that, I'm never going to have an alcoholic drink again. I may. I'm not thinking about it like that. It's just that I take such pride in my health, and I enjoy feeling so good naturally, and I enjoy, challenging myself and being able to have fun and talk to people and network and flirt, being completely sober. So yeah, instead of seeing it as a sacrifice, see it as a privilege to become the best version of yourselves. If you guys decide to, reduce or eliminate your alcohol, you're in for a treat. You're going to see so many benefits. And with that, guys, I hope you have a great time. I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great week, a great month, a great year. Until next time, see you later.